You, me, and everybody is now looking through the retrospectroscope. Part of the problem with all this is that all of us, you, me, and everybody is now looking through the retrospectroscope. You're always smarter, and you always know more when you have that. We didn't have that then. And so I think it's an unfair characterization to say that our folks didn't do anything for 8 weeks.
I posted this comment in response to Christie's video. How do you expect to be taken seriously as a presidential candidate when you deny the reality of the occupied territories? Forget about a retrospectroscope and try using a reality scope. Are you serious when you claim that you quote-unquote misspoke when you talked about the occupied territories? CNN reports that Andy Aboud said that you told Sheldon Adelson that you don't believe that the occupied territories are occupied by Israel? How in the world can you think you still have a chance as a presidential candidate? The world and the United States government refer to it honestly. See how the U.S. State Department refers to, quote, Israel and the occupied territories, unquote. And there's a link to it. And the CIA refers to what you deny. The West Bank is Israeli occupied. Is that enough of a reality scope for you? You can't seriously think you can recover from this stunt you pulled to appease an extremist like Adelson, can you?
We saw a big mistake yesterday.
I mean, they're all going to make really stupid mistakes, of which that was one.
And then says something about occupied territories, which kind of gets him in trouble.
Looking at how mainstream media behaves, I can see why Christie thinks he can get away with this, because mainstream media will help him get away with it. Mainstream media kowtows to the extremist Zionist agenda of denying that the occupied territories are occupied territories. Incredibly, more than 90% of network TV reporting on the occupied territories fails to report that the territories are occupied. Now that statistic is from over 10 years ago, but if you look at the recent stuff, the situation apparently has gotten worse as far as kowtowing to Zionist deception and aggressive theft of land, and to obscure those crimes. Because now they've gone beyond omission. They've gone into acting like it's outrageous to call it the occupied territories. They're saying that it's a mistake to do so.
We saw a big mistake yesterday. If he was just focused on running for president, would he have talked about the occupied territories in a pro-Israel group like he did yesterday?
Yeah, let me
That's
just
a kind of distraction.
He was in Las Vegas meeting with Sheldon Adelson and a number of other big Jewish contributors, and at one point he talked about flying over the occupied territories, which implies that Israel is occupying parts of the West Bank or Gaza.
Doesn't imply, it says it.
Yeah, right.
And he had
and that is not something that a lot of Jews like.
And if you look at what Kevin and I were just talking about this in the green room, if you look at what happened in Las Vegas, where he referred to Palestine as occupied territories, I mean, that's the sort of thing that shows that he's not on top of his game like you need to be when you're a presidential candidate.
Right, but he's not in a president. I mean, they're all going to make really stupid mistakes, of which that was one. Would you not agree, though, that Christie's persona is, you see as a fault, but a lot of voters look and love that confrontational, bring it on, hey, they love me there, and, you know, and he says, I am what I am, and they love me for that. Is that not true?
Yeah. Kind of come through and be a different... But those who supported him liked the bombastic Christie. They liked the guy who told reporters off. I mean, he comes out, he gets this exonerating report, then he immediately sits down with Diane Sawyer, he immediately sits down with Megyn Kelly, he immediately goes to the Republican Jewish coalition and talks tough, and then says something about occupied territories, which kind of gets him in trouble. But that's always been his stock in trade. I am the tough talker, I'm going to tell you the truth. And I don't know that anybody who was going to write him a check before is going to be turned off by it suddenly now.
Those were the video clips referenced in Peter Hart's article on the Fairness and Accuracy in Reporting blog. The link to that is in the video description. If you want to help boost this channel, click here for this playlist, which promotes this video and shows other examples of Israel's wrongdoing. You can also subscribe to this channel, you can subscribe to the blog, and to the email list. We have to use this platform to change the status quo, because this is absolutely unacceptable for the mainstream media to get away with this.